friend Tom's in the shop. We're doing a project, and he's talking about this car show he's got coming up.
Every year I throw an annual car show, and it's a fundraiser to help raise funds to send kids to summer camp. I think if Ian shows up, it's going to kick the attendance up a notch. It's 1 month away, and I think you should show up.
I say we just build something. Like, build something new and bring it to your show to reveal it. I think that would be a hit.
So I was thinking, man, it'd be really cool if Ian showed up to my car show, but now he's talking about building something. You're telling me that you're gonna build, that we're gonna build.
Yeah, you gotta be here. Tom's kind of blown away. So he's a little concerned, but I think we could do this. I got this potential up at my friend Bill's house, and if I can get that off his hill, I'll bring it down here and you'll see. He'll be totally into it.
I'm on board, let's do it.
Cool, you
Sounds
just gotta
fun.
be here. That's
I'll
all
be
it
here.
takes.
I guess I'm gonna be here for the next month building something with Ian. Hopefully we get it done.
We're up at Bill's and the treasure hunt is on.
Now this is the chassis that the roll-off truck you did came off of.
This is a 1948 International Harvester. It's a KB8. It's a big rig. We used the body on Bill's other project truck. So he had all the components from the early truck left over. This thing is old school, man. It almost looks like an old hot rod frame you would start with, just gigantic. The axle's super cool. If you didn't know better, you'd think it was like a giant Model T or something, just the way everything looks. There's a reason Bill didn't use this. It's pretty rough. The engine is toast. Transmission is who knows what. It's completely gunked up with dirt. I don't need any of that. All I need is the frame and the axles. It's a perfect starting point.
Yeah, this chassis is rough, but I didn't want to throw it away, and Ian doesn't like throwing away either.
I think I could build another vehicle out of this. Do you have a cab? Obviously, we used the cab on your other truck.
I do. I have 2 international bodies. I like international trucks, I always have, and every time one comes available, I got it.
So this is like a 48, it's the same as yours, right?
This is a 48. This would have been called a KB5.
Yeah, it's smaller.
Right.
And this is like a 54?
I think 53 or 4,
53?
something around that era.
And this bed was on the back of this red International
No,
here?
different vehicle altogether. This was off of a 1944 Seagraves fire truck, roadster type fire truck.
Crazy. Oh yeah, it's got these handles where they would hold on.
Yeah, the fireman would hang on. I doubt whether they're OSHA approved today.
Yeah, this is neat. Oh yeah, engine 4. Says it right on it.
Well, you know, I have the cab for this still. I don't have any frame.
You have the sheet metal.
I have the sheet metal roadster cab.
Well, never mind these little dinky pickup trucks. Where's the fire engine, man?
I'll show you the fire engine.
In Bill's endless pile of parts, he's got a fire truck. Holy moly.
Yeah, this is what's left of my fire truck.
Where do you get something like this?
Well, I bought this years ago at an auction, and it was a complete truck at that time. You know, I love the old fire truck because it's a roadster, and it's one of those keeps getting moved back project. I'm never gonna get around to it.
This is freaking awesome. This thing is crazy. It looks like a Model T with this cowl. And then an awesome, like for the Model Ts, for the racing cars, they would make a V-butted windshield, and this has already got it. I really need to check this thing out. Pulled it out of the weeds, and it's in very good shape. I know the chassis got the look. And then seeing this body and the bedsides, I'm thinking giant hot rod truck. So I think that this cab is the game changer. Never mind those pickup trucks. Bill and I have got a really good working relationship. We exchange parts for work a lot of times. Judging by the amount of stuff that he just gave me, I might be in line with him for some really wild stuff.
I'm always excited to watch Ian and see his gears turning in his head and what he does.
These are the basic building blocks for my inspired project. So I'm trying to explain to Tom what I'm cooking here. I got your typical radius rod scenario, but just giant size. I just set up the ends. This is a piece of a landing gear.
Ian pulls out this part. It's really cool. It's got this military green on it. He says it's from some landing gear. So is it cool to put airplane stuff on hot rods?
Yeah. You know that surplus place I love so much. They got all this good stuff. The lower arm on this radius rod needed a bend in it, about 90 degrees-ish. I wanted Tom to get on the machine and get a little workout, you know? Everybody thinks the fabrication is all glamorous, but it's also a heck of an exercise session. The last two pulls are really tough.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
The way this machine works is it increases leverage as you go around the dial. So Tom starts off, he's like, oh, this ain't no thing. I was like, keep on pulling, brother. You'll see what it's made of.
Wow, dude, how do you do this?
That's what I'm saying, it's freaking tough.
I've seen Ian pull tubes before, but he makes it look easy. It's not. It's not as easy as it looks. I win.
There you go, man, victory. Once I put the tubes in place, you could see it's got that look, that hot rod look. All of this is conceptual, but you never know till you try it.
If it works, yeah.
What do you mean, if? If it works, he's gonna eat his hat.
This hat? Now, this is my favorite hat. I'm kind of skeptical. We're taking giant parts from a giant truck and we're trying to trick them out hot rod style. Anything can happen.
Drop her down.
Moment of truth, huh?
The big question in my head was, how is this gonna operate? Is it gonna swing smoothly through its arc, or is it gonna bind? Huh. Actually works. Up to this point, this whole project's been conceptual. The whole look of this project is how the body sits on the chassis. It's the look of the whole ride. So getting it in place, I could tell right away, and Tom agreed, this thing is way too tall. Look how freaking massive this body is.
Yeah, it looks kind of goofy up tall like that.
It is, it's way too tall. My initial thought was this was gonna be kind of a highboy style, real old school look on top of the frame rails. As soon as it was in place, I could tell it was not gonna be okay. That's why I wanted to put this body on. It's just way too big. When the whole truck is up in the air, the body looks kind of small, but now it looks massive. That close to the ground, it changes everything. The firewall looks like a freaking tombstone. It's gigantic. I think we gotta channel it.
Yeah, there's no question about that. It'll look so much cooler too.
Right, I'm talking about a hot rod, and you know the formula, man. Low, big and little tires, then lean. We gotta strip this thing down. It's looking good, but it ain't there yet. Both Tom and I agree, this big box on the back of the cab is not the look we're going for. First order of business is to chop it off. Channeling means you drop the body down over the frame. It gives the whole vehicle a lower profile. The compromise is the interior room. But I don't care about riding comfort. This is all about the look. We're channeling this sucker. Get it down. I'm just into it, you know. I love this plasma cutter. I'll use it all day long. So I got the shades on, you know, shields are down. I'm in the moment. Tom's yelling.
Woo, we got a fire in the fire truck.
Fire in the truck. I think he's just into the fire truck. I'm like, yeah. This is these wooden cars, man.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do about that?
Should we call the fire department?
Want to see something cool? First things first is I see this as an opportunity. I mean, if this is a fire truck, I'm gonna do some experimenting.
Should put a little bit of gasoline on there for some dramatics. So it really looks like it's on fire.
No, this is like fire department stuff. You starve it from oxygen. Theory behind it is if the fire has no oxygen, it will extinguish. So I'm thinking lack of oxygen, carbon dioxide doesn't have any oxygen. Let's try some of that. That didn't work. I guess the velocity of it coming out just made a really better fire. Plan B.
So the fire's growing. Ian says, okay, this isn't working. Don't worry about it. I got a fire extinguisher.
I hate this thing. Ready for the mess? Whoa, you're out. That didn't work. We just had a fire the other day, and I used all the fire extinguisher. Let it burn. I'm done. All the while, the truck's still burning. Tom's gonna go old school on it.
So here I am, working on a fire truck, and I think, what would a fireman do? I went and got some water. Everything's solved.
You know, Tom, that's why I keep you around.
Because I'm a hard thinker?
Here I am with all my cockamamie ideas. And you came in with the oldest form of fire prevention I've ever seen.
And now we need a mop.
We got the fire out, the body lowered down, just as we expected, and it looks great. Now you're talking hot rod. That's perfect. What do you think about that, Captain? Is that gonna work?
Yeah, man, now it's looking like a hot rod.
The thing with getting the body in place is now we can kind of mock up what the wheelbase is gonna be. So in order to do that, we got the engine in place. It's a 454, it's a big block Chevy out of an old 1-ton dually I had. It's a great running powertrain. After that, we mocked up the bedsides. I knew right off the bat that these bedsides were way too long. I had my own vision of what this was gonna be. I also brought Tom on board because I wanted to see what his vision was gonna be. Groovy. I think we're onto something, man. What do you think?
I don't know, man. It's too long, it's too boxy. Something's just not right. Something's gotta be done here.
You're right, that bed's too long. Do you like the slanted back with the cool detail on the handrail?
I like that. You know what? There's got to be a way to keep the coolness of the back and the coolness of the front.
The engine 4, right?
Right. Got to keep that engine 4 and got to keep those handrails.
See that seam right behind the upright? We could cut that handrail right in half. It's already 2 pieces. So we can, look, this comes apart right here. So we could ditch this upright, make a new one, and just cut it somewhere in here and hide it with the tire, hide the seam with the tire. Wait till you see how tall these tires are.
Whoa, man, look at those. That's a tire.
Yeah.
Wow.
These are the biggest tires I could find available for the street. They're off of a cement truck. They're just massive, heavy-duty semi-truck tires. I think we nailed the wheelbase, but I think it's time now for some conceptual sketches. Moving around all these parts is starting to get to me. It's heavy. Tom's a graphic designer, and just like I like to take cars and stack parts, he likes to take pictures of cars and manipulate them on Photoshop. At this point, we're still in the theory and design of the rear bed. Tom's gonna go back, come up with some ideas, and I'm just gonna keep on building. My plan for this is to build like a miniature tube chassis just on the back. I got 2-inch round tube, 1/8 wall, DOM, super strong stuff. So I'm gonna create a shape that goes up over the axle, back around and reattaches to the chassis. Bottom line with this design is that I'm gonna have to cut the frame right off. This whole chassis design is really high-tech stuff. I'm kind of doing a little behind-the-scenes action before Tom gets back. He doesn't need to know about this. It's all my brain work. When he comes back, it's gonna lift up, be ready to roll.
Hey. Aha. Wow, man, look at that cage. Well, I was really surprised when I came in and saw the airbag set up all done. Ian grabbed the air hose and fed some air to those airbags, and up it went, and he released it, and down it went, and it looked good raised up, and it looked even cooler let loose. Yeah, I really like the way it's sitting, nice and low for something this size.
I'm all charged up about my engineering and chassis design, and Tom comes in and he's all charged up about his artistic interpretation.
So check this out.
That's freaking cool, man.
Did a little bit of photo chopping and
Yeah,
our rendering.
I like it. I was thinking like, you know, flat black or something, but you're talking about a fire truck.
Well, yeah, well, it is a fire truck. Might as well keep that coolness about it.
Sure.
This fire truck's from 1944, and you know, it's taken decades to build that paint job that's right there. And so I didn't want to mess with that. It looks cool the way it is.
Looking at this rendering, I'm like, yes, this is exactly what I want to build. The way he drew it out, it looks perfect. I think the proportions are just right.
So what I did was I brought in the bed sides a little bit.
Right, I like that.
Okay, that way it gives it a little bit of a pickup uphill,
Sure.
but it's not, you know, too flat down the side. It's still kind of hot rod. Kept the rails on there. I thought those are a nice touch, and added a few little extra characteristics to it to make it, you know, believable it's a fire truck.
I get it. Kids dig fire trucks, right? The only thing we'd need is those hoses. I don't know where the heck we'd get them. That's a cool accessory.
Hold on a second. I got something for you.
All right.
This past weekend, I was at my friend's house, and he's got a really big yard full of really cool old school stuff. Check out what I got for you.
You are serious about this fire truck thing.
I am.
Wow. Tom is all charged up about this. You know, he took the time to take photos and do all these concepts, and he's got the fire hose to prove it. truck. So like your sketch is showing, I'm just hanging right back here, right?
That's right.
Groovy.
When I saw the fire hoses, it really inspired me.
Let's do that. Let's make a hot rod fire truck. I think that's cool. Kids are gonna dig it.
Right.
It's a charity thing. Just keep a good vibe going. You don't need no flat black rat rod. We'll make a cool fire truck.
I'm glad you're into it. Sometimes it just takes a big hose.
Sometimes that's all you need. The whole thing is Tom drew a great illustration. He made a great rendering of what this thing could be. So I'm holding up the metal, asking him what's right. Do you think this height is good or should it come up a bit?
No, I like the height right there. The back, I think needs a little bit of a rake though. Right now they're nice and flat and level, which gives a kind of a hokey look that I'm not crazy about. This thing needs to be raked.
Hold it. Okay, so that's parallel with the door jamb. That's how it wants to be.
I can already tell that's it.
I'm not 100% sure on the rake of this thing. I want to get the bed sides fully mocked up and then decide if it's right or not. We started by shortening the bed sides 11 inches. Looks like a garbage truck. I think they're too long.
This is a really critical moment because this entire time we've been wanting to balance between fire truck and hot rod, and it can go either way. It's really long and it's looking like a fire truck.
See here, the handrails, once they come out on their little stanchion, they're way out. All right, so that's the height. See what I'm saying? It's almost like the handrail needs to be just inboard of this. I'd like to see the handrail here. This is a big truck and we're shortening it, I don't know how much, a couple feet. So that's the way it works, you know, it's trial and error. See, man, that's where we're at. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, then it's just past the tire. Initially, you might think the bed looks a bit too short, but this handrail comes out another 7 or 8 inches.
One thing that Ian's really good at is taking old stuff and making it usable again. Rather than trashing it, you know, he makes use out of it.
Anybody could go to the metal supply and get these parts. I got it right here. Some old fire truck and some old school bus seat. It's gonna work. There you have it, one full custom seat frame. Well, I've been working, Tom's making his initial cuts on the front grille. It needs to be shorter, so I'm gonna make some marks for him to follow.
Ian breaks out the soapstone and starts drawing some stuff on it, some lines, cut here, cut there.
So you can cut right like that.
Wait, where do you want me to cut it at? It's kind of confusing me. He's got lines over here, lines over there. They're intersecting. It looks like a map of South Central or something. I'm not sure what's up. This is the I guess, caveman style.
You're gonna come in like this, right? You see a guy here, you turn left. You see a guy there. As you're coming around here.
Right! You cut that side. I'm sure in Ian's mind, he knew exactly what he was doing. That's why he wrote the lines the way he did. He knew he has a vision. A little scared here. I'm trying to keep up and I'm like, wow, can I do this? It's a tricky thing going on right here. I hope that's what he wanted. I make my first couple cuts. We take it back over to the fire truck to mock it up and see how it's gonna fit.
So standing back looking at it, I think the height works. But I think that grill still has to come in.
Bring it in behind the axle.
Yeah, then it's gonna look like the suicide axle's proper. Just still, proportion-wise, the engine, you're seeing the radiator, right? The engine's just kind of hanging in space. With the grill ahead of the axle, there was plenty of clearance for the suspension to move. But as soon as we wanted to set it back, the axle, the shackles, everything was gonna smash this thing as soon as it hit a bump. So I think the only way we're gonna make this work is to cut like a V shape in the front. I think my lines will make a little more sense this time. You want to cut it or you want me to cut it?
I'm letting you cut this. Ian lines it up for some more cuts, and this time I'm like, oh, hang on a sec. It's getting a little bit detailed here. So I hand it back to Ian and say, you cut it. I'm not messing this thing up. It's in your hands again now, pal.
I think all this cutting was starting to get to him. He was a little hesitant to go for the radical sectioning. Now he's even more hesitant to go for the V cut, so I'm gonna pull a few tricks for him and help him out. Hopefully we got it right this time. We're running out of grill.
Set it up on the truck, and it looks great.
Right off the bat, it worked. It's gonna need a little more trimming, but this is the look. Yeah, now look at the line from the bed. It's all facing down. Standing back looking at it, the grill is set back inside the front tires. It looks like a mean machine.
The grill of a hot rod's a very important piece. You know, if you mess it up, it's obvious. You know, it's right out there in front. We cut a lot off of it, but it's still looking cool.
Tom's got to hit the road. There's a ton of little details to finish up. I got about 2 days to do it. Just gonna make it happen. Made a lot of progress on the truck and got my ace, Jackie Rabbit. She's here doing her clean and paint detail. She's clear coating the body. She's putting on all the fasteners. Everything that looks pretty. While Jackie's handling all this paint and detail, I get to get this exhaust built. Fortunately, my friend Don donated this set of headers. Unfortunately, for me, they're for a small block Chevy, and I got the big. These look like your typical headers from, say, a T-bucket kit car. You know, you see them all over the place in the 60s and 70s, people running these headers that come out, down, and they got exhaust dumps. They are the perfect look, but the one big problem is they don't fit this engine. When you look at the exhaust ports on the head, you can see the outer ones are almost in alignment, but the inner ones you could see are way wider. The first step is to cut off the flanges on the header. I got another set that are bolted to the engine, and I need to make a match. Now I need to take these two center ones and split them wider. I think I'm gonna have to torch these bends to anneal them. If it was a nice chromy finish, we'd ruin that, but these are rusty. I can get away with it. Metal is malleable. You just gotta warm it up. You can move it around like clay. So these tubes, as strong as they are, as soon as you heat them up, you can reform them. But see, look, it moves right over. My whole process with this was to try to gain leverage so that last bend, the hardest one, would have a bunch of stuff to work off of. So this one, you can see already, it's definitely a good 1.5 to 2 inches out of alignment, but it's also got to come up. So this tube needs to stretch up and forward. I plan on accomplishing that with a big old torch and a big old pry bar. Now you got a 3 against 1 scenario. I heat that last one up, it's got to give. The thing that was bothering me most about this exhaust mod was that you had new material welded right up to old. Aesthetically, this whole truck has to come together as one. If you put one shining, gleaming chrome thing, it kind of outdoes the rest. Hey, move it. You don't know what this could do to a furry animal. Stand back. So, my plan is to just torch the heck out of it. These headers have been on a hot running engine for decades. I'm just gonna simulate that with my big old blowtorch and make it all happy. This thing is pretty much nailed. Car show's tomorrow. I'm gonna take it up there, show off to Tom, the kids, whoever else is there. Let's party. My favorite thing about this is the transformation. You saw what was pulled off the hill. Look what's hanging out in the shop right now. Before I take this thing to Tom's car show, I wanted my friend Bill to come in and see the transformation. Hey there.
Wow, Ian.
Welcome back. I went for it, man.
You did. You know, typical Ian, it's amazing. He shortened it, widened it, lowered it, resprung it, resuspension, and it's really amazing, really amazing. You know, when this was sitting on the hill, I was hoping that it wouldn't just sit there. I was hoping it would get back together.
Yeah, really the only part I didn't get from you was the engine, the headlights, and the seat.
It just looks great. I love the originality of the 1944 Seagraves fire truck.
The wood deck and the back step solidifies the fire truck look. All this thing needs is a couple firemen on the back step. Fire hoses are in place, it's ready for action. I got this thing wired up and fired up. It's driving around, I'm ready to take it to the car show.
Today, we're here at the CLA 4th Annual Spring Car Show and Fundraiser. We're raising money to help send kids to summer camp.
It's a total down-home community thing, lots of cool cars, barbecue, bands, you name it. Tom's put this car show on for a few years and it just keeps getting bigger and better, so to be a part of it and bring a fresh build out, it's super cool, helping out a friend. Tom hadn't seen this thing in a few days, so when I pulled up this morning, he was really excited to check it out.
Oh man, I was blown away. It turned out awesome, man. Well, this thing seems to be a crowd pleaser. People are digging this hot rod fire truck. They're loving everything about it.
I came out here specifically to see this car. What I like about it is he's not afraid to go with something big and bodacious. When people actually see it in person and get to see the tactile feel and see it roll down the street, but you can't help but to look at it and go, damn, that's awesome.
I just think the man's an artist. Just the total coolness of the whole deal. I was pretty blown away.
You know, every time I've worked with Ian, I bring something to the table, but I take something home too. I either learn something when it comes to how to build or artistically. It helps me grow as a hot rodder and a car builder myself.
Building a truck of this proportion is pretty massive undertaking, especially in the time frame, but just like working out, you know, we got through this. It's on to the next. I'm bringing in my friend Johnny to collaborate on another project. Hey, howdy.
What's up, man?
Past projects Johnny and I have collaborated on are pure show car, you know, just these wild concept vehicles, and they came out awesome. One was called the Johnny 5, it's just a mutant front engine VW pickup, and another one called the Space Junkie. We're always trying to raise the bar, so it's set fairly high on the last collaboration.
Under that tarp could be this wild creation that's already been done. It's already this amazing killer custom car that we're gonna now take apart and recreate, or it could just be a pile of 2 or 3 parts, and I'm just ready to see what's under the tarp.
My whole thing is get the artist in the house, no preconceptions. I like to bring the shock and awe factor.
Okay. Yikes.
It's a little funky, right? This is like a 1970s. It's called
Yeah,
it's called a Kellison Sandpiper. So it's a pickup truck dune buggy. It looks like this, but what it is isn't what it appears. We just have to one-up everything we've done so far. Johnny and I have been down this road before. You know, last time we started, it was like, whoa, this is incredible. You know, this time it's maybe not that much. As it sits now, it's not the eye-popping show car you read about, but I can envision it. This has got potential.
There's something here.
I tend to forget I need to get people warmed up to my ideas. You know, this roof comes off. That's why I called you here. Like, anything goes. You know, my other car, we cut it apart. I'm not married to any of this. Don't think about specifics of a bubble top or a dune buggy or whatever.
So you're not necessarily married to the classic dune buggy thing? Okay.
No, that's the thing. Full custom show car. My whole goal with this is like a nice finished, high quality vehicle. I was telling Johnny, dune buggy isn't the key word here, it's show car. That's the end result. I did all the mechanical stuff, so it's basically a driving car as is if I put the engine in, and I stalled on it because I want to make something crazy.
Okay.
Something like no one's ever seen. It's not a dune buggy.
Still keeping it rear engine, I'm assuming?
It's going to be rear engine for sure. Anything goes back there.
And as far as...
The wheelbase is set.
So in my head, you know, I'm thinking to myself, man, there's not much here. What could I even bring to this? You know, that kind of thing. So I'm really gonna have to push the limits of my abilities.
My whole logic here is I'm trying to bring out the best in Johnny, you know, all of his creativity. If I showed him something, again, that was like a finished vehicle, we'd be running over old territory. Start with something completely, you know, straight in your face, nothing but potential, and just let him run with it.
One of the things that Ian made pretty clear about this particular build is we're gonna keep it fiberglass. It's a nod back to the godfather of customization, Ed Roth.
Focus.
There's the car as is. Yeah. And I tried to like do, you know, here's the original type fender, and then if it was exact.
First drawing looks pretty much just like a dune buggy, and you know, hey, everybody's got one. I'm looking to push it way further. From here forward, look, that's the thing. The car is arching, right? It's like a thing ready to pounce, which is awesome.
The first drawing was really some simple things that we could do to change the look of the vehicle with still kind of a nod to how it already is. And then the second was a little more dramatic and trying to incorporate some crazy ideas. And then the third one
Oh yeah, let's see.
What about a van thing?
That takes this, and it's like, it's still a utility, but it's a panel truck.
Right.
And I get my roof
And your porthole.
and the porthole.
Like, these are really rough. They're not like fine-tuned drawings. These are real rough. I guess the coolest part is that he's always like, no, that represents what I see. I see that. He doesn't need this elaborate rendering. He goes, I like that, I like that, I like that, and already, like, it's already built in his head.
I love your idea of arching the fenders up so we can get the car lower. I think that's what we should start with, for sure. Let's do it.
Okay.
Hey, the board meeting's over here.
Yeah,
This
over
side.
here.
Come on, check this out.
What do you think?
Driver's in the front, hands on the wheel, dog is in the back, tongue in the breeze. I think we got the green light on this project. All that's left to do is start building. I want to cut these open and then create your front fenders. I want to start there.
Were they really archy?
With that archy top,
Okay.
right. The thing that you did on your drawing is the hot ticket. Being that this front suspension is adjustable and I want it as low as possible, we need to get these fenders out of the way. What's happening is the fenders are coming down and hitting the tire at the ride height I want. It ain't gonna roll.
I came in pretty nervous, excited but nervous and not sure where we're gonna go. And now we're on to the next page. Now, how do we take this and turn it into that drawing?
Aha! All right, now you do the same thing, but better. It's time to put Johnny to work. No free rides in this shop.
Boom. So you're taking that and you're gonna go out around that as well.
You can even see right here where it's rubbing, right?
Right.
You'll see. I got room to steer. One thumb. I want to make the most of my time here with Johnny, and you know, the envisioning, the mock-up process is critical. When you're mocking stuff up three-dimensionally, it's quite a different thing. Form your fender shape that you desire out of that. Johnny's kind of out of his element here, you know, he puts the pen on the paper, so I give him a couple envisioning tools, you know, piece of TIG welding rod, and here, pull it, make some shapes, do as thou wilt, and we'll see how to make it better. It's three-dimensional envisioning. I love that. Is that?
Oh,
that.
yeah.
That's all I would think is
Roll it back.
maybe just that.
So even more aggressive, a little more aggressive. Yeah.
Once Johnny has a line drawn, we're gonna take a board, we're gonna trace it, duplicate it, that way both sides are the same. So what I'm creating is a contour of the top surface of the fender. After it's all hardened, we flip the body over and pull all of this material, the foam, etc., out from underneath. And we're using some great stuff. Shake these. Shake them.
All right. We're laying down the spray foam stuff. Ian's going at it like a precision surgeon, real nice and neat and clean. And mine's this big blob of mess.
Stay in the center. You're too high. Stay in the center. Yeah, exactly. Thing is, when you're in the house of the master, there can only be one master. You are top chef. Look at that layout, man. This panel truck idea has got me kind of thinking about stuff. I'm gonna talk to Johnny and take him on a little field trip. So this stuff's happening. You know, I got an idea for the back. You know, all we need is shapes. So let's take a ride. There's this one in particular that relates perfectly to our project. So this is a Falcon sedan delivery. Same vibe with the roof line as what we're doing with our project.
So I walk up on this thing. Oh man, it's sitting real nice and real low. But there was something definitely different about what it is or what it was. There's just something different about it.
Yeah, no, this car is full custom.
Yeah.
I took it to him with a donor car and told him put the front end on, back end, we're all good, clip that all on. Well, when I was absent, Ian cut this car right down in half, right down the middle.
We simply split the car in half lengthwise, widened it 8 inches, and put it on an entirely modern chassis.
Even from the early days of Ian building vehicles, it was never about sticking to the rules. Yeah, I'll do whatever it takes. Split a car down the center? Yeah, that's what I gotta do to get it to fit.
As you can see with that camper shell over there, it's the same vibe, you know? Basically, this style vehicle with the wild fiberglass fenders and everything else we got going on. I just can't wait to get back to the shop and show Johnny how this camper shell will transform into a panel wagon.
I don't know, man.
I mean, look at the roof from here. That's kind of your drawing, dude. So I mean, it's wide, but we'll do it exactly like the Ranchero. Cut it right down the center.
It's a little, it looks like it's gonna be a lot of work to cut that thing down though, right? I mean, that's a lot of pieces.
So it's simple math, right? So we come in here real fast, right? I see your visor here. We're gonna cut this off, that's gone. This bottom part's gone. This is canted forward, it's sliced through the middle, it's narrowed. Simple, right?
Yeah, that seems really easy to do.
We know right away this thing is way too big, so time for emergency surgery. I'm gonna whack this thing into shape and mock it up on the car.
And again, in Ian fashion, no hesitation, no pre-planning. He just grabs a saw. He didn't run a tape line. He just starts cutting.
Check this out.
And then suddenly, like the lines of the front of where he cut it and the back end start making sense. This might work.
King of the road. I think this is the move, man.
Yeah, I'm totally seeing it now.
Yeah, hands on the wheel.
The raked windshield, this cut back like that, that filled in. Plenty of room for the porthole.
I think it's gonna work.
I'm seeing it now.
The mock-up process is starting to take shape. You know, it's looking better every second. We're building the underside of the car, so it looks super sloppy, but that's okay because we're gonna refine it. The whole idea is once we have some type of structure, we can start refining it, you know, and then playing on how it interacts with the rest of the body lines.
I've watched Ian do metalwork on stuff, and usually the results for the eye are really quick. This, it doesn't really look good.
Those are gonna set up, let them sit till tomorrow. Let's get busy on this. The whole thing about restyling a car, chop top, right? You're trying to make some kind of a statement of a flow of the vehicle. So this ain't no tail dragger, it's just some kind of funky nose down 70s freak machine. The roof's gotta follow suit.
So Ian's like Dr. Frankenstein, and there's the monster, and I'm just Igor, just trying to not get in the doctor's way and be the best help I can be. Yes, master, whatever you want, master.
How does that sound?
Sounds good to me.
The whole thing with this is just chop, cut, envision, you know? This is a really easy panel to set in place. It's the angle that counts. Chop top, camper top.
Super working.
Dude, this is it.
Who is that mystery man?
You know, I show up to a car show, I'm like, hey, thanks, glad you like the paint job. Yeah, I'll be with you in 1 second. Well, my friend and I built it. I mean, you've never heard anybody say, man, that car was so cool. Did you see how he entered and exited with such grace? I feel like this chop top look, we're on the right path. This is what the car needed. We gotta cut the back of that car off right now. I can't look at it. I can't stand to witness it one more second. It's gotta go.
We'll totally see the look that way.
Exactly, right. Now we're getting somewhere. Let's just figure out this opening, because this looks funny. Yeah, you can see how wide this is, you know? We know we're gonna have an opening to get in here.
Right.
Probably cut this up a bit. It's the old school guillotine technique, right? So this is your wall surface, and that's the line. Stick your neck out, and wherever that blade came down got chopped off. Exactly that, the guillotine technique. Strength. Aha. We have our pre-seasoned fiberglass panel. I was using this wooden panel as my mixing board for the fiberglass, and thusly, it has become pre-treated with fiberglass resin. At this point, we're into the fabrication aspect of things, and that's where I excel. So I'm trying to keep Johnny in the game, you know? We get this thing colored all one tone, and I want him to draw the opening. I kind of know what I'm looking for, but I want to see where his head's at.
And now it's really starting to look like the drawing a lot. Frankenstein's monster is now starting to look like it's coming alive. Straight through there, and then back to the turn.
Like that. See? That wasn't so hard. That's how cavemen did it. That's it. We were doing the same body line, right?
Oh man, come on.
You nailed it.
Come on. Dude, that is cool.
That's it, man. Look at that. That's totally cool.
Right?
We're just in the concept phase.
Right.
I'll do all the freaking dirty work. That's what I needed. A good line to go off of. That is crazy cool, dude. Porthole and a sunroof. He's got some crazy moonroof, sunroof thing, this feature that shows an elongated window through the top of the roof. Oh man, that's so close. I wish we had this before we cut the top. We cut it a ½ inch too much.
It's in there kind of wonky.
Yeah, it'll work for sure. We're gonna cut a hole in the car anyway, but it's worth doing whatever it takes.
So do you got to fill it in first, then put it in, or
No, we're cutting it right now.
that's not gonna screw with the body line? We already.
Nope. Whatever it takes to make this happen, that's what we're gonna do. When you have a good idea, you gotta act on it right away. You gotta feed on that energy and feel out if the concept's gonna work.
You know, E and B and he just pulls a Sharpie out and lays a couple lines down and starts to hacking.
This element will really help to define the rest of the roof line. Totally cool.
Right?
And I'll have to build that, but that's
Yeah,
fine.
but that totally works,
Yeah.
man.
The porthole is a simple procedure, you know, just trace out your circle, cut it, and it screws right in. Pressure fit. Oh, look at the dimension once it's on the car. It's like a little moon. The one thing that'll set it off, like your drawing, is to
Right.
modify that fender,
Yeah.
and we're off to the races.
It's got to be done now.
Yeah, for sure. At this point, we're just trying to get all the lines in place, you know, get something proportional. And one big sore spot is these rear fenders. Something's got to change. All of your drawings, every one of them, you know, they're showing this like up, down. It's a roller coaster, right?
Right.
Roller coasters ain't horizontal. Not only do the fenders swoop up, they need to get widened and reshaped a bit. You know, it's all about the look. Because your drawing is showing this surface here.
Right.
So let's just cut, because we love this thing.
I
right?
do love that thing.
Let's just cut right through the flat and take this off. Aha! I was thinking something like that.
Oh. Wow.
That's just me. Now for the down drop, we can make it out of this and just wrap this in. We're not doing any welding on this project, man.
We're not mastering of any metals. This has been arts and crafts project the whole time.
The main positive aspect of working with fiberglass is you get the mock-up really raw, and then you're able to solidify it with this really flexible material. So you can see the mock-up comes fast.
Yeah, man, the silhouette is totally there.
I think the biggest part of my future car building revolves around collaborating with an artist. Johnny's a great collaborator simply because we have the same aesthetic. You know, we have this love, this passion for those really far out show cars. There's a ton more work to do, so by the time you get back, you know, you'll see there will be a whole other adventure happening.
Right.
And,
There
we'll
always
be
is.
on to the next. All right, after my collaboration with Johnny Jalopy, I took all of our inspiration, foam and tape, and fiberglassed it. I trapped it. After that, I went right on to this driver's side and refined it right through the finished primer. Did a couple cool elements of my own in the rear fender, and by finishing off the bodywork, I solved a lot of the questions I was having, but I also have a whole new can of worms with issues to refine. One of the main challenges, you know, back to front, it goes from this very flat, faceted shape and turns into these curved sort of fenders. It's flat, ridge, flat, ridge, flat, ridge, flat, 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 round. This is an ongoing issue. You know, I'll continue to refine this as the build progresses. There's about 50 hours into this bodywork as is. One problem I'm having that I didn't even consider was this free-floating roof thing. And I had to put in these temporary braces to keep it aligned. Those gotta go, but before I get rid of them, I gotta come up with some kind of structure to keep this roof from flexing anymore. My first idea was I would just support the roof somehow to the body in the front, but I will not compromise that floating roof boat windshield thing. Is too cool. One of his drawings showed this kind of cool center console that wrapped up towards this moonroof here. So I'm thinking that look, you know, could very well come into being as some type of a structural element. Of course, this element will be refined, you know, whether it's painted, upholstered, who knows, but you're going to see it, so it's gotta be super strong and look super cool. It's like a race car, you know? You get up, you're in the stadium, before you do your jump across the Snake River Canyon, you wave to the crowd, and then you're in. You know, ideally, just coming in naturally, I grabbed right here through the hole in the roof. So maybe that's the answer. It has some kind of a grab handle. See, you gotta squirm this way, and naturally you're wanting to grab something. Wave to the crowd, and then you're out.
Like everything else I make, you know, I start with the envisioning procedure. I want it to support the roof, and I also want to create some kind of a grab handle that can support a person getting in. So, that's my loose mock-up.
As you can see, the contours are following the look of the side profile. It's pretty cool, huh? Speechless. Make this out of 1.5-inch round tube and I'll bend it to spec. Good call? Is it a deal?
He still doesn't seem convinced. Shortest description of what I'm using is the 2-inch round heavy wall tube and then like 1 3/4 heavy wall tube.
It'll be easier for me to just bend these in separate pieces. That way, for length, I can just adjust it and weld it. It doesn't need to be certified. It's not a racing roll cage. He knows a racing roll cage should be TIG welded, stress relieved, all that other stuff.
It's not a race car, man. Not named the shop inspector for nothing. It's like a Rolodex of specs that you have to adhere to.
A stickler for detail. The issue I was having with this roof was it was going like this, left to right. So I think that this thing coming forward is gonna have a T-bar on it with 2 adjustable perches.
Now that I see it in the car, this is the look I'm after. I need to set up a little extra support for some strength, and this thing will be installed.
So you're gonna want the handle right there.
The end game for the visual appearance of this is yet undetermined. Maybe there'll be like a center console that this element sprouts from. All I know is what I've accomplished has secured and centered that roof panel. So that's the story. I'm sticking to it.
You got this crazy looking contraption that is both a roof reinforcement and a grab handle.
Made a lot of progress. We are over the hill into the finished bodywork stage.
Inside and out, I flipped the car upside down, body filled and Duraglassed and fiberglassed and undercoated and all that other fun stuff. So, you know, the repair I was doing on this rail, when you're getting in and out of the car, you're gonna be on this, so you know, I made it thick. It's all spray foamed up inside and it's really strong.
I'm really excited and relieved and pleased with all the collaboration thus far leading up to this. First things first, you know, every car needs a bumper, so I'm gonna get to work on that. The whole concept on this front bumper is stealth. I just want a neat little lip, you know, something bumps up against it, it'll hit metal instead of the paint. This tube bumper's super simple, but its placement is critical. You know, it's gotta support the look of that nose coming down. The width should be appropriate, and then just 2 bars to triangulate that should it run into something.
That looks right to me. Hey, check this out. This looks so good. This would look great in the middle of the dashboard, don't you think? He's not having it. It's just gonna go right to the front beam and weld on, just like a buggy bumper should. So, that's the deal. 1 dune buggy bumperette. Very, very strong. That bumper's looking good. Now that we got that in place, it's time for the next and final step of the front view. I got these cool vintage KC units. They're off-road lights, but I'm gonna make them into headlights, you know, high-low beam. They go with that kind of groovy 70s thing, you know, you see them on choppers, you see them on trucks, you see them on dune buggies. They're all right.
Now that I got the bumper on, I gotta get the headlights in place. You know, their positioning is critical to the overall look of the front end of the car.
This car's got too mean of a nose to have those, you know, up in the air headlamps. So they're gonna be down in here somewhere. You know, the placement of these is pretty critical. Oh, a special delivery. He's arrived.
I got a special delivery, and apparently it's arrived. We've got a little arrangement in progress. Oh my God, that's the coolest car I've ever seen. Holy Krakatoa. I knew that my friend Tom was on the way. I just really didn't expect him to show up with the rig he was driving.
How's it going, man?
Good, man, how are you?
Good. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. How's it going? Good. He said you were throwing it in your truck and coming by. What the heck is this?
It's a 77 Super Bugger.
You ain't kidding. Where do you even get one of these?
Back in 77, you could buy them right off the showroom floor at Super Campers.
Oh man, it's too bad I was only 7 years old. This is unlike anything I've ever seen. This is possibly the coolest thing I've ever seen. What, how's the rear view? I mean, it's awesome.
I think I've gone through maybe 70 cars in the last 5 years, and out of everything I've owned, no matter how crazy it is, this Super Bugger gets more attention and looks than anything I've ever owned. It's just ridiculous.
I've just been outclassed. I might as well just quit. Everything I've ever done with VWs, it doesn't even compare to this. So how many of these things did they make?
I heard they made about 200, but we've only been able to find a handful of them.
I've seen vintage trailers with this look, but
yeah,
this is incredible. Just get in the camper.
Stove, your sink, your fridge, your water.
Oh, and an engine. So this looks expensive.
A little bit.
I put the word out that I was looking for engine options, you know, kind of anything goes, and he said, let me come down and show you what I'm thinking.
That's a 2332.
That's
full
big.
flow, deep sump, balanced, Dick Landy blower, and then it's got the dual 44 side drafts on top. Yeah, and that's putting out over 200 horse.
So this Volkswagen has 2 engines. I thought we were pulling it out of the back, but we're pulling it out of the middle.
Anybody could pull up with just a motor in the back of their truck, but I figure we could fit the motor in this somehow, pull out the table, move the seats out, get it in there, get it down here, and just surprise them with it. I figure you'd appreciate seeing all this and
yeah,
get a kick out of it. Cool, let's go check out the buggy.
Yeah, come on in.
Oh wow, dude, how cool is that? When I first saw the buggy, it totally exceeded anything I was picturing or imagining. It's actually way cooler than I thought it would ever look. If you see something you want, you know instantly, and that was instantly.
And I'm excited to see that engine here. You know, they pop right in.
I say let's mock it up.
Bring that bugger in here.
Yeah, let's get that in.
I am really digging this Super Bugger. I don't know where his head's at. If he's willing to do some trading, we could probably come to terms. This thing is totally cool. Man, what does the guy got to do to get this off your hands?
Oh man.
You look burdened by this, so I'm trying to help you out.
I think I'm gonna need a dune buggy probably.
Yeah, that could be arranged. I gotta let the inspector check this out.
Oh, right on. Looks like I picked up a passenger.
He's gotta do the thorough inspection, man. He's gotta put his nose on all of it. First things first, we gotta get this engine out of the rig and into the dune buggy.
Wanted to make sure that didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, I know. Wow. It's a little heavier with all this extra horsepower bolted to it.
Aha! There we go.
Look at that. Ta-da! This is like the king of mutants in the VW world. This is heavily modified, like it's full race. Every aspect of the engine has been modified for performance.
Let her down.
That is it. This car's progressing. You know, the bodywork, I'm just trucking right through it as I do. I pulled the engine out so I could finish off the back of this body, put in some MDF to stiffen it up a little bit, and blended this one in. So it's all screwed and glued. It's nice and strong. Got through the majority of the bodywork, and now it's on to the details, the aesthetics. Johnny's coming out in a few days to check the progress. There's a few key things that I want to get in place before he gets here. I want to get these side pods in action. Johnny's drawing shows some pretty cool details of these fins along the side. Key design point Johnny came up with was this fin action below the fenders. It's open for interpretation. You know, the main thing for me is to make it flow with the proportions of the car. So the outer face of the wheel width is represented in the thickness of these fins, and then it just tapers down to nothing. So a bunch of big wedge shapes. The biggest challenge in translating the drawing to the vehicle is truth versus fantasy. This car has certain proportions that, with any logic, cannot be altered. This is a mock-up. I'm just trying to get something established to work with. The reason for using these materials is that they're plentiful. I can go to the supply store and get way more. Once it's mocked up, assembled, they get coated in epoxy primer, maybe a little fiberglass on the back to rigidize it. You paint them with automotive paint, and that's the finished product. That panel on the bottom, all of a sudden it's in proportion. So you literally have this big block wedge with the fenders running through it. And now you're looking at this. And then the fender's just kind of jamming through it. That's good. Just setting up this backboard, you know, I'm really happy with the way it gives that lowered appearance to the car. You could almost leave it as is, but I really think I could take it up another notch. I don't know how big these darts are gonna be, so I'm just gonna split this right down the center and fit it up and figure out how many, how big. Now we have this giant shape. I'm gonna go something like that, I think. What did I get myself into? Fortunately, they only come one at a time. If they ever double teamed, I might not make it up. The last thing I needed was another shop inspector. You know, 2 shop inspectors, I'm kind of outnumbered at this point, you know? I'm 6'2", hand of authority, and now it got double teamed on me, so we'll see how this develops. This is pretty much what I was thinking, a series of these going up the line. Yeah, I think we're just gonna have 4 ribs because that's what this is dictating. I've seen this kind of style on some sports cars, you know, 80s Ferraris, some other weird concepts, but you know, I'm going for my own vibe on it. It's like, oh, okay, that makes me think of this, but it's unique. I see some issue here. From here, these are perfectly parallel, but when you're standing up looking at it, they're perfectly unparallel. In the first layout, you know, it looked kind of like Venetian blinds, just lines stacked. I wanted it more like a, you know, a fan, oriental fan, little flare. I'm trying to find that sweet spot, as with everything. The thing about this is the perspective of the lines has to be measured by how it feels, how the whole car flows. You know, you cannot put a formula on it. Yeah, so that's what I was looking for. You see, that upper one flows with the fender line. Getting these fins primered like the rest of the car would really help to finalize this aspect. I gotta get the thing grayed out, then it all looks the same. The last step of envisioning is the primer. You know, just get the thing one tone, and then it's a yay or a nay. With the white, you don't get the shadow play of this gray tone, so now you can really get a feel for the dimension of this. The white just looks all bleached out. The shadows, everything works together. It's good. Totally happy with that design. I'll mimic it for the other side, but there's bigger fish to fry. I'm working on multiple projects. I got all this board kind of fitted in. That's going to be the interior panels with upholstery on it, but I also have a really cool idea for the dashboard. Very little sculpture, all business. We need to enhance. This is what we're working with. Vintage Stuart Warner tachometer. These go on this, which is even more awesome. And lastly but not leastly, if you know sound systems from the 70s, Kraco. I don't even care if it works, it's going in the car. So look at that. Freaking floating space pods on this awesome wraparound dashboard. The basis of my projects has always been found parts. So this next step is just in that same vein. Victor didn't even look twice at this thing, so you know me. Put it in the back pocket, put it in the semi-permanent collection. He's gonna be surprised when he sees it, 'cause he's like, oh, I should have used that in another car, but it's gonna be too late. It all depends what you're going for in the end. You know, if you just put in a set of cool gauges or whatever in the stock body, hey, you get that out of it. If you want a freak show, you gotta go the full length. And that's what I need. I need a freak show dashboard. In there, you can see how this is all gonna congeal. You know, it's offering a huge support visually to that tube frame. And then, yeah, with the windshield, the split windshield, we need this. I think everyone will agree it's a nice looking unit, but how are you gonna get it in there? As a great man once said, it just isn't even close to fitting. So, I'm just gonna cut it up. Here we go. I've cut so much stuff apart at this point, you know, you just look right through it. You know, a butcher doesn't need a road map to where he's going, right? He just knows the cuts, gets rid of the excess fat, and makes it happen. It's summertime for sure, so this is the old standby, you know. Not only does it portably cool, it blows the dust that way very efficiently. With any found object, as long as you make the right moves, you can get the right results. So this is exactly where it needs to be. Now, the center comes right to here. There's plenty of room for the shifter and the emergency brake. These two pieces did not go together, and hey, now they work. Just put a couple screws to secure that. That's all gonna get fiberglassed. These are obviously not the right shape, so I'm gonna start with the center pods and then work these out independently. So you can see with a few minor pieces trimmed off, the Sterling dashboard is a perfect fit. Look at that. The success of having these three shapes fit in the car, okay, that's great. What's really gonna sell it is getting it all glassed and molded in so it looks like one piece. You know, all the center detail is retained looking like the Sterling, which is what I was looking for. Once it's all molded in together, it's really gonna sell it, but you know, when the inspectors start responding, you can see there's a little curiosity going on. I think we're on the right track. Inspector number one has given full approval and sign off on the dashboard, and now it's time to get to the details on the back end. Well, the engine intake speaks for itself. You know, these giant megaphone style velocity stacks. I want the exhaust to mimic these, so these big horn shapes are definitely gonna be the exhaust. The whole car's gotta flow together. So those trumpets, you know, the air's coming in, where does the air go out? The exhaust. Those two elements should be in the same flavor. All right, there's your custom exhaust setup. Full custom dune buggy needs a full custom exhaust. Just like anything else is gonna be made from scratch, so I ordered a whole pile of parts to get to getting. The challenge therein is to make this tangled pile of tubing and make it look like a beautiful piece of machinery. This is kind of cool. Like, what if they kind of projected from a center point like this? There's 2 and 2 right there, kind of out. For this exhaust build, you know, my main thought is that it has to look balanced. The exhaust has to complement the engine and not take anything away from the fantastic components that it's already presenting. That's what I'm talking about. That's a total cartoon car exhaust. I like the exhausts. I really want to get the taillights in place just to see how the whole thing plays. The official reproduction Mustang taillight lens. Unlike some other people we know, for me, this taillight decision is going to be real easy. Perfect. I don't think this car needs anything any more crazy than one of the old dune buggy standards. You can see, it's perfect. I'm kind of a make a decision and stick it guy. My mind's made up. This thing is totally freaky, funky 70s style. This is exactly right. Johnny's coming out in a couple days. There's a lot more to be done as far as assembly and finish work, but those 2 taillights, those 4 exhaust pipes, you know, that's the look. I need to finish up the exhaust on the other side, but there's one more key component I want to get established before Johnny comes back. Duplicated the exhaust concept on the passenger side, did a bunch of finish welding, and now it's clearly represented. And there'll be some finish work just in, you know, finishing the welds, but that's the look. It came out really cool. Even though the sheet metal megaphones are uncharacteristic at the end, these end caps make it look like the laser gun. It's just a good effect. What it needed was that little center engine, you know, it looked like it was wearing a backpack. And now it's got freaking claws. Looks like it's gonna grab something if it backs up. This simple design was really effective in completing that bulked out rear end. The rear end is fitted out for sure. The one thing that's missing is this windshield. You know, this concept of the floating roof will really be cemented when you see the windshield mounted here and there's nothing attaching. In other words, no A-pillar attachment. There'll be no check and balance from here on out. I'm gonna have to do some modifications to this, so I don't wanna just stack on top of the primer. I wanna get right down to the base material and build off of that. So what I wanna do is take that big sanded out surface, and then I'm gonna sculpt it to look cooler. Right now it's on a shelf, it's like this. It's gonna be a flat plate, it's just a stamp, one shot. This is just establishing the height for the center post to sit. I know a couple tricks that will help me just go through the process efficiently. You set that and push it flat. Critical thing is I gotta get the center pillar looking parallel with the roof support. Haha, is a flat surface. All we were trying to do is just create that flat pad that sits on. That's the height. Process with this is one step at a time. Get your center centered and then figure out what the angle is on one side and then follow through with the other. Really the best way is to eyeball it because you can see clearly, you know, when you're down the line, if they're like that, you know, there's gotta be parallel. You may be asking yourself, how is he possibly gonna get all those things at the same height? Got these epic sanding discs from 3M. I mean, come on, you didn't think I was gonna not customize every last thing. There you have it, 4-foot block sander. Look at that, you sand it. He has that look in his eye. I didn't say it was gonna be professional, but it works. The purpose of mocking up the windshield is just like everything else, a 3-dimensional, full-scale representation of where you're going. The end result of this is still yet open. You know, you can do a traditional clear glass, you can do Lexan, colored glass, colored Lexan, tinted, anything goes. Really happy with the way this windshield progressed. Still some final details, like everything else, but definitely enough to show Johnny, and I got some plans. This is where we're at, man.
Nice.
It's a little bit different than it was last time.
Wow, man. It's unbelievable. I walk in and man, it looks really, really cool. Dude, look at the dash.
That's that Sterling dashboard from the other supercar that Victor and I worked at.
And this is so sick.
Yeah, we didn't discuss that, that's right.
Last time I was here, you know, everything was pretty much attached with sheet metal screws or, you know, or drywall stuff. And we were just kind of tacking things together and announce a full solid body. It came out better than I thought it was gonna come out. I can't stop looking at this part.
I got the engine from this guy, Tom. You know, he saw the car, he saw some pictures and fell in love with it. I don't know what the deal is yet. He may be a potential buyer for it. When Tom came down and saw the car, you know, he brought the engine. He's talking about a trade or buying the car. He's only become progressively more fascinated with the project. He shows up with this Cobra gas.
Oh, sick.
This is a flower pot. It's a plastic flower pot.
Yeah.
Look at it, right? I just put a wood board inside it and cut off the back.
I love it.
All the pieces are here, you know. Our mission is to nail this paint scheme. I'll mount up these tires and then, you know, the sky's the limit, dude. Just as crazy as these components are, paint job's gotta be that big and better. I'm gonna let Johnny ruminate on his paint idea for a while. I've got an idea for these rims. I want to try it out before we mount the tires. I got this cool media blaster from Eastwood. I've been using it on everything. I got walnut shells in one side and then sand in the other. These rims are way cool, but I have an idea. I don't want to make them look like fully polished, way too shiny. And I think if I just give the misting of the surface, these rims are going to look frosted and then I can detail out the highlights. So it's like you got your satin, and then as soon as the shine comes around, you start to get your blips.
Yep. Yeah, I like that.
So, any thoughts on that? Any thoughts on that paint scheme? It's been 5 minutes. I figured you have it worked out.
Yeah, no.
On the way to the shop, we picked up these new rear tires. They're 295 60-15s. It's got a 12-inch wide tread and about a 28-inch tall diameter. They're going to be way cooler on this car. I can't wait to see what they look like. Before we can get these rims on the car, I gotta set up some wheel adapters. I have a pair and I think I can do something to make them work. 5.5. Pop right back in. Aha! Yeah, look at that.
Look at from the back. Look at the two side to side. The way the exhaust plays on this tire is way better.
That makes that fender make sense.
Yeah. This was a total relief because with the engine and exhaust developing, you know, these tires make the rear view complete. So, it's been 8 minutes. Any thoughts on that paint job yet? I like the fact that Johnny's a little nervous. You know, I like pushing his buttons, keeps him on the edge, keeps him creative. So, you know, we're into the paint design of this and, you know, it's got to count.
Yeah, so as I'm looking around the car, it started worrying me a little bit. You know, can I come up with something that's going to work? Yeah.
Johnny's feeling a little uneasy, but I'm confident. Everything's in place. All the elements are here. You got some great ideas. You're throwing down some great ideas. Let me get this thing into primer like right now, and tomorrow we are ready to rock. We'll start designing it.
Okay.
At this stage of the game, I'm feeling energized. You know, there was a big hurdle to jump to just get to this point. I mean, I've got a lot of ideas. I'm looking forward to see what Johnny comes up with. I got another coat of primer on the car, and it's ready to lay out the paint scheme.
What I'm seeing is every time I try to do something different from the old drawing, it just doesn't.
There's something magic about that simple two-tone.
Yeah.
You know, with this fading and everything, you don't want to draw too many lines on the car, I don't think. Like, look at the VW bus.
Right.
It's perfect.
Simple.
Yeah, the thing is about these cartoon hot rods, you know, we designed the Johnny 5 together, we're designing this together, so, you know, they could be pals in a universe somewhere else. They would be hanging out together for sure. Strangely enough, the exhaust sort of feels like that. The side panels sort of feel like that. Now we got the giant tire. Maybe we just make it look like you're drawing instead of trying to come up with something crazy.
Right.
You know, I'm kind of sticking up for Johnny's initial inspired paint scheme. You know, maybe we don't need to go so wild. The thing about his first idea is that it doesn't translate so well to the true body shapes. I mean, just first thoughts. I love this white panel coming to the little spear right here.
Right.
So what if the white followed through and it came around and then kind of hooked up? It doesn't need to follow this line, but it came up and you had two jutting spears like that.
Ian like immediately starts seeing a lot of lines that I wasn't really totally seeing. And he starts laying some pinstripe tape down and immediately these really cool spear shapes started showing up. I just think that's his thought process. There's never not a way we can do this. Less is more.
And we're coloring outside the lines for
sure.
to get extra points for. It's like body line? No, we're just gonna
No.
mash
We're
them.
making our own line.
In a panel paint job, you typically follow the body lines, but the exciting part about what we're doing is we're coloring outside the lines. You know, we're trying to hyper exaggerate some of the features on the body. Well, this is the line. If you were a panel painting a car, you follow these lines.
Right.
This edge. But we're not doing it like that.
Going optical.
See, so this blue tape is blue paint right through there.
Yeah.
So the blue here, if this is white, what does this do? Come around?
Yeah. Or maybe even go.
See, this is exactly why. This is nothing I would have ever thought of. Bam, all of a sudden he starts to fire on all cylinders. He's like, break the paint line across the dashboard like that and look at the effect you get. I'm like, exactly, right. That's why you're here. To break it across the top and look at that weird
There's
shape.
another blue spear.
Right, so this is blue.
Yep. Blue.
Right.
Then there's a spear of blue going through it.
Right. Johnny's idea about the lines on the hood really complements the little spear thing I did on the side. So I'm gonna go back, tighten all the lines up, and then, you know, then it's ready to spray. But feeling really confident that our collaboration is gonna pan out.
What about doing white on the undersides of the kick-ups? You know, remember the old mud flaps?
Right.
Where it was like Yosemite Sam and the back off? We do that underneath, but not mud flaps.
Right, on the fenders.
On the fenders.
Yes, 100%. So blue, white,
Right.
and then I'll get some kind of cool font.
Yeah.
This is exactly what the car needed. That one thing where you're walking around, you're already blown away, and then you're like, it's the punchline at the end of the story. I'm doing that 100%. Right, and then the exhaust is like the guns.
Yeah.
And we'll put a mustache on the engine. It'll be perfect.
He's like, yeah, why not? Why wouldn't we do that? In fact, let's make it as big as we can. I can't wait. That's like now like one of my most favorite parts we're gonna do to the car. Is that silly back off thing in the back. These damn vomits, back off. Giggle.
Before Johnny leaves, I want to get this car basically where every design element is nailed. There's one last thing I want to show you, and that's the interior.
Okay.
You know, I started making a couple panels out of this masonite,
Right.
but the missing link is that center console. See, now that it's not in the car, you really see that there's two separate pieces.
Yeah, okay.
So what I want to do is, just like your drawing, I want to show two separate pods. I want that wall to continue right up to the back. That way, the driver and the passenger are never rubbing elbows.
Okay. Ian's already got a really cool aesthetic inside the interior of the car, which is this really cool grab handle thing that kind of flows through the center of the car. And I'm like, let's just riff off that piece.
I noticed an element of Johnny's drawing that showed this center console aspect between the driver and passenger seats. I set up the dashboard for that, in that the Sterling had that unit that came down into the shifter area. I just wanted to see what Johnny was thinking about how this wall between the two people is going to present itself. I have my ideas, but I'm always interested in what he's going to bring to it. Here's the board, draw out what you're thinking, let's do it.
It's totally the shape I was thinking.
I was reading your mind. I love it. Let's see how it looks. Dude, you're a freaking genius, man. That is the eye of an artist.
Like, please tell me he's not gonna do that. I love all of Ian's over-the-top ideas, and I was like, I hope he's not serious about this one. Yeah, I don't think so.
You always got to keep him guessing. You know, he might have thought that I was serious about doing that, but that's why I left his line in place. All right, let's try the
If that's your
conservative.
vision, I'm with it. You know, if that's your vision.
Let's try the conservative look. Oh, I see what you did there. Look at that. Whoosh. You got an eye for this, man. Yeah, so this tube will only grow out of the center console
Right.
right here, and that's hidden. You trace that, and I'll make another one. This always looks so much easier on TV. In the end, I want these upholstered, so once again, this is not only a mock-up, but it's the structure that will be upholstered. All right. That was the thing, I just wanted to have the look that we both agreed on.
No, that's gonna work.
Yeah, I want to show you one thing. You know those fiberglass seats we saw at the swap meet?
Yeah.
Well, I actually found a pair this morning. These are cool because they're vintage. You don't really see them with the white seat covers. These seats are the classic low-back dune buggy seats. We're going with a blue base coat. These had blue pinstripes sewn in them, so this will be the theme for the interior. And, you know, I got a bunch of white vinyl, so I'm just gonna do it very simple, white vinyl interior. Now it really fills in that big cavity, you know? So see the center console, as bulky as it looks, it's really not bulky.
That's just right. Those fit just right in there too, right at the lips.
So you have the pod of the dashboard, and then the seat back, and then the little flipper fin on the roof. The driver has his controls and whatnot. The passenger's separated by a wall, and he's the DJ. He's got the stereo, and he's in his own chair. The good news is all of that crazy, hard, dirty work is behind us, and now it's on to the details.
Yeah, so we step back, we look at the finished project, all the ideas that we've come together. Again, it's, you know, it's the next step of the mock-up. We've already mocked up once, now we're doing the final mock-up, it appears. It appears. You know, whatever Ian's gonna do while I'm not here, it's gonna be next level coolness. So I wish I could imagine what it's gonna be like, but it's Ian Russell, you never know.
It's come a long way, baby. Now all that's left to do is everything.
I can't wait to see it done.
It's happening. Really appreciate Johnny being here. He always brings in a fresh element to the design. There's still a ton of work to do, but we've crossed the threshold. So we came in, we nailed the key elements we needed. All I could say is by the time this thing is finalized, there's a few more awesome surprises coming. So this is what it's all been leading up to. We got this thing painted, not completely, this is the start of the process. This is the base coat. It's an Eastwood product. It's called Cruise Night Blue. This is the time we've been waiting for, a time when all the things start coming together and the dogs are on the edge of their seat. Last time you saw it,
You know, Johnny and I came up with this paint scheme, so this is the first step in the process. You'll have to hold all questions until after. No dog bowls were used. Pretty cool.
Johnny and I decided no crazy freak out paint job. It's gonna be two-tone, blue and white. You know, blue fenders with a white hood and roof. Now I need to figure out where those parting lines are. There was one point of concern between Johnny's drawing and this car, and by putting the base coat on, you could see the line. It makes it clear as day. Really digging this blue base coat. What it does is makes every body line just pop.
Look at this line. Look at this brilliant reflection of the highlights. You know, that didn't exist with the primer. So we were unsure as to what was going to happen with this tape coming through this area.
It may seem like Johnny and I have already covered this, but the thing is, this body is representing its own shapes independent from the artwork, so I have to follow the line of the actual car.
Got to look right with the car, and this is the moment to make it happen. This is the end result. You know, this is what you see. So, you know, whatever it is, it's just got to be that showstopper.
After the lines are figured out, you know, it's time to mask it. And this is a fairly basic two-tone thing, but you know, it's easy to get dyslexic, especially side to side.
The most important thing is to remember what stays blue and what don't. So I'm just gonna start by working off this little area. So this was one thing that I thought was pretty neat about Johnny's idea. But I'm gonna one-up that just a wee bit.
It just needs a little tweak to the front of the roof line. The way that the white parts with the blue, I feel like it would just be better accented if the white was just a panel on top.
That way there'll just be that little hint of blue right there, and then that's white. So this is one thing that was kind of a breakthrough with Johnny was this interesting thing on the hood here. This blue comes through and it does like a roller coaster over the dashboard, up and around. The hood and the roof cap are white. There's a white side graphic, but the car is basically blue.
These lines are defined. You know, I just need to get the white paint on and then see what comes next.
I got the white laid out. I put some silver flake on top of that, and it's got 3 coats of clear. What do you think? Pretty sparkly, huh?
The whole concept with this is like fantasy show car, right? So I just want to spike it up one notch, you know, I want the whole thing to shimmer. Even though the white looks great on its own, you know, the metal flake really does its job. Well, I'm real happy with the way the silver and the white came together. I was a little concerned that the car would go silver, but it's totally white for sure. Let's take off this tape and see what it looks like. The dogs are pretty nervous because they understand the importance of a clean break once you pull the tape line. And, you know, I'm not known for being so meticulous, so let's pull this tape off and see how it looks.
It's like scratching an itch.
There is a tremendous satisfaction in seeing these tape lines peel back. Everything looks tight, you know, the contrast is right where I want it.
The deadline I'm trying to make is 3 weeks from yesterday.
There's a great show coming up, and I think it'll be a perfect place to take this for its first time out. Barring any major issue, we should be able to make that deadline. But again, it's always a coin flip. A major issue could arise at any moment.
Oh yeah, that's pretty rad. That two-tone worked out good. It really adds something to this C cab shape right here. I think this is my favorite part of it. The way that the white just comes forward, so you have these 2 stabbing lines.
The panels needed to have a little more action than the body was affording, and by just freestyling some tape, it really adds to the line of the car. The lines are lining up.
This is rad for sure, but something about the front view is just super white.
Saying of, you know, every action has an equal and opposite reaction stands true even in this case. As spectacular as the white has come out, what it's done is totally dulled down the blue. As awesome as it looked with a blue base coat, now the white is just popping and the blue almost looks like primer again.
Needs a lot more action for sure. The blue just looks like a matte finish now.
Front on view, it's just lacking a little something.
See how the sunroof will break up the big white panel in the roof? I almost feel like the hood, those two awesome shapes, the two bulges in the hood almost disappear. It's like the sunroof in the top. The windshield is gonna break up this massive panel of white on the hood. Yeah, see, all of a sudden it's a different view. I don't want to overdo the paint by any means. I just want it to match. So right now the blue and the white are not cooperating. It really just looks muted now by this brilliant two-tone. It's looking like two different cars right now. The windshield definitely helps out this white panel in the front, but not 100% convinced. It looks like I'm gonna have to come up with a few other solutions for this issue. I got an idea for the blue. I'm gonna try a little more paint work and see what it looks like tomorrow. I addressed my two main problems with the paint. I added blue to the ridges on the hood to break up the white panel. You know, I really bumped up the value of the blue with 2 tones of metal flake and then a gang of clear coat on top of everything. So now it's really starting to shine. I got the gas cap in, the portholes in, you know, this car is really starting to take shape. But I think the design could use one thing to further the whole effort.
Color combo came out nice. I like that blue. It makes the white pop. It looks really nice.
I brought in my friend Gilbert to add a little graphic element to the rear of the fenders, and I think that's gonna just set it off perfect. My friend Tom Flores, he's done a lot of graphic design work for me, so I had him and Gilbert get together on this project. Tom came up with a font as per my specs, and Gilbert's gonna transfer that to a real live paint work on the car. The background of work that I've seen Gilbert thriving in is like, you know, strict lowrider stuff. So he shows up in this red Volkswagen Bug. I used to get a lot of flack for being into VWs.
Oh yeah, I still love Beetles. I got one, a brand new old one right there.
There you go.
It's classic.
You know, he's talking about how he's excited to get involved with something outside of the parameters that I've seen him working in.
I started out building Volkswagen, so
That's me too.
I'm all about it, man.
So you're the right guy for the job. I think it's really important to be versatile. You know, he gets stuck in one niche, and I think I would stagnate, so I build a lot of different styles of cars. All I'm saying is the whole vibe of this thing is like the funky 70s, so whatever you like.
Well, bottom lettering, man. Can't get more 70s than that, unless you bring Scooby-Doo in here.
That's it, man. That font is perfect, dude. Exactly. I was thinking a decal. Gilbert is gonna one-up it, handmade.
So then what I'll do is I'm gonna silver leaf these, let them set up, and then we'll do the turn, the engine turn, so they have the little twist, and then I'll outline it, do the drop shadow.
While you're doing that, I got a little upholstery stuff to take care of, so if you need anything, I'll be 2 feet behind you. I'll be right over in the upholstery shop. The main issue here is Jack is my upholstery guy, and he went and moved to Chicago, so I'm left without any resource. I don't even have a sewing machine. All I could do is pull from the experience and working with him and try to get something done. That's basically what the inside detail is. It'll have this little miniature hatch.
That's nice.
Oh yeah, totally. Oh yeah, look at the view from here. It's exactly what it needed. Different than anything I've seen, it's perfect. Your job is done here. I'm feeling really good about this paint job, but there's a whole other issue I have to approach next. The car's got no doors, but it's got to open somehow, so if you got to make something open, you start with a hinge. So I made one giant hinge. The chassis, everything it takes to drive the car, seats, steering, everything is on the floor, and the body just picks up off of it. People hop in and the body shuts. This is kind of hairy for me because this is basically a live performance in front of the world. But the benefit of it is, if this works, the whole car is gonna be open like a clamshell. This is vintage fiberglass. We just did a ton of work to it. The last thing I need is for the body to flex and crack. You know, it's completely painted. I've got hundreds of hours into this finished paint job, and now I'm stressing the whole structure in a way it was never designed to. As strong as this fiberglass body is, where I'm grabbing it with the hinge doesn't have a lot of structure. So I've gone underneath with a lot of heavy steel and bracing and really reinforced around the whole firewall of the car. This is something that is being done by necessity, but it's pretty dicey.
One thing I need to keep reminding myself is that inspector does not equal assistant. Did you hand me a wrench? Business as usual. You think fiberglass car and you think lightweight. That's not the fact with this body. As petite as it is, it's still pretty darn heavy. So I need something with some serious lift capacity and extension. I got these two big hydraulic rams. So I'm gonna put these in and hook them up to some air and see what happens. I don't know where you would get these new, but they're actually a part of my old city bus. These two rams were the main lift mechanism for the wheelchair lift. All right, so everything's hooked up. You know, this is the make it or break it moment, because I'm sure this has enough power to just rip itself apart. I got the rams hooked up to the air lines. I'm gonna test it with air because that has less power than hydraulics, but it's still got a lot of power. So hopefully this lifts with 150 PSI. I'm feeling like a big question mark. I don't know what to expect. Let's see what happens, because this is not an exact science. First try. No dice. Let's see what's wrong. Something is completely bound up. You know, in kind of quick troubleshooting this, I realized that the body of the hydraulic ram has just been forced into a static position by this round tube. Problem was, see, these need a little room to shake. At least it didn't rip the whole body apart. You know, that was the other potential, was that the body stays still and the rams go right through the roof. Let's see what happens this time. So if anything goes wrong, I want you both to go that way really fast. Get ready. Yes. Hey, it's the simple things that thrill me. That is totally cool. Just like you want to see, this thing pops open, like perfect. I was expecting anything, you know, maybe one hinge breaks off, the thing kicks over to the side, you know, there's an emergency recuperation moment. You know, I was ready for it all, and nothing but what was supposed to happen happened. Look, it's my greatest achievement ever. Can we show some enthusiasm? They've seen it all. They're so jaded at this point. But one thing I wasn't considering is these rams being right in the way of the seat. After this great achievement, I still wonder if I'm able to get in the car. That was why I did this. This on itself, this sold the effort for sure. Now all I gotta do is figure out how to get in the car. Today is D-Day. We're gonna fire this sucker up. Tom says it runs great. The famous last words are always, it ran great when we parked it. So I just asked Tom, what's your emergency contact phone number? What I don't want is a backfire. The only thing I could say about this, as with firing up any engine, gotta have oil pressure, your spark timing has to be on point, and then you gotta make sure you have good fuel delivery and a fully charged battery. And this engine should pop right off. It should. I got the oil pressure up. All the electrical parts are making contact. The switch is working. The fuel pump has power to it. So hopefully this doesn't go the way of that Harley. Or that Model A hot rod. Just gonna turn the key. If there's one thing I know about cars, anything that can go wrong will. That's why I've prepared for this. This is for the rafters and the roof. Really hits the fan. Where's that fire extinguisher? Fuel pump on. Yep, that's what I was talking about. And sure enough, like Montezuma's Revenge, one turn of the key and there's just gushing. I mean, not a leak, a gushing flow of raw fuel. Seems like a pretty big leak, because it is. Hence the high flow fuel pump. That's what it's supposed to do. It's a high performance engine, it needs a lot of fuel. I know these cars and they hate us. The last thing they want to do is run. So the thing is, I am in no way a master engine builder, but I am a troubleshooter.
In a perfect world, I will just tap on that with a small hammer and the problem will be fixed.
Anybody that knows carburetors knows there's a little float bowl in there, and that's most likely the cause. Tap on the carb a few times, and I'm hoping this simple fix addresses the problem. Otherwise, we gotta take this carb apart. Now, with the key turned on, there's no fuel gushing out of the engine. It's time to fire it up. Turn the key, and it starts, just as it was advertised. I love the sound of Volkswagen engines. It's pretty wild with the blower on it. You see these things expanding, it's breathing, which you don't see in a normally aspirated car. It's pretty awesome. It's like a heart. There's no backfiring, there's no nothing but a strong running, clean sounding engine. So this was a major what if. One thing for sure is that it runs, and that is, quite frankly, that's a blessing. That was the wild card in the whole operation. The car show's coming up literally 5 days. We're down the road. The body's off. It needs to be color sanded and buffed. There's no interior, there's no gauges. There's a lot of stuff that has to get wrapped up, but we're one step closer. As the statement goes, the devil is in the details. Well, this engine and transmission is a great step, but the finished work is what's really going to sell this concept. A little while ago, Victor and I went on this crazy Riviera adventure. We built this custom lowrider. In the end, Victor could not come to terms with a decision on what taillights it should have, and there it sits, still incomplete. This is the wild card situation I was bracing for. Anything that is heavily modified can work.
That's just option 1. We'll look at this and then we'll go to option 2, option 3, 4, and if I have to go to option 5, I will.
Making a decision means different things to different people. The decision he's made is that we're gonna make some decisions all day long.
This is the last one, but together, they have to go together.
Those are cool.
Right.
So it's that flavor, but
Yeah,
you got the
same
chrome.
flavor.
It's the same deal as what you're doing with those other 8 taillight deals. These are looking good. The chrome bezel is what sells it for me.
I'm sick of all this tape, man. We got to get something permanent established.
And I guess I'm committing to this because you're drilling in my damn car.
As soon as I hear okay, I'm on it.
And then we'll double them up like that.
Yeah, pretty much it looks like it's there.
The thing is, this will look much different once it's Frenched in.
It'll have the look we want. Right now, it's just like paste it on. Okay, Ian, I'm good. I'm committed.
All in all, I think you're making a good decision. Houston, we have a decision. Let's get to it. Finally got this Rivi on the road. Taillights are in, everything is attended to, it's looking good. Thing is, I've never seen this car really drive. It was delivered to the car show, it showed, and it went in Victor's garage, so seeing it out in its natural environment is pretty darn cool. Chalk this one off as finished, right?
It's
no more
complete.
changes.
Simple, subtle, look at that car, it's beautiful.
Nice to have another project completed, but I got my work cut out for me back in the shop. And time's a-wasting. The next thing I need to get together is this rear hatch. When Johnny and I mocked this thing up, we've changed just about everything. The rear hatch is gonna have to undergo the same process. This jumble of parts is actually the rear hatch from the camper shell. I've cut it apart and narrowed it because it's gonna go right back in, just smaller. The ultimate trickery in this is making it look like it belongs there. So this jumble of parts will become a functioning rear hatch. First step of the process is to just cut the parts down. I always leave them a little bit big and then trim to fit. If you had to create this from scratch, it would be pretty challenging. The aluminum extrusions, the hinge, So by modifying this already production part, but to the point where nobody recognized where it came from, that's the trick. This is worth it in the end, and the same reason you would put trim around a door frame. It just finishes it off. Instead of a hole in the car, you got this cool factory-looking access point.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool. I like that. So basically this design stays through to the end. I gotta do some other behind the scenes work. I'm gonna make it all fasten from the inside as much as possible, and the plexi will be glued in place. Yellow acrylic is really cool. So cool, in fact, I'm gonna continue the theme right to the front. It's gonna be in the porthole, it's gonna be in the sunroof, and it's gonna be in the windshield. It's gonna glow. The blue, the white, and the yellow are just, they work perfect together. Got 4 days to accomplish the impossible, and I still have a bunch of ideas I haven't even tried out yet, so what could possibly go wrong? There's a lot of hours in the day. We're gonna make it. The key ingredient in any build is pre-fitment of all the things before you paint it, but the car's painted. It hasn't really been fit up mounted on the chassis. You know, I gotta put the gauges in, the windows, etc., and it's all just kind of like a one-shot deal. I have a strict punch list to get this thing assembled and driving, because that's what it's about. So the whole thing about deadlines is you're thrashing to the end. Took it out to the desert for a shakedown run, and it is really something. It's way cooler than I ever expected. This yellow acrylic just totally brightens up the whole thing. These cool side pods, they're in development. To get them in place and painted really changes the side view of the car. I mean, it's really cool. Instead of doors, now the car is a door. Dude. So that's the thing, dude. You show up at the car show, nobody's got this.
Dude, this is crazy.
He wasn't expecting that. You know, if you see a picture with it up in the air, it's one thing, but to see it on the ground, and then by the time it's up, you know, the rear fin is like 8 feet in the air. It's a really crazy show car.
Oh, that is sick. That's ridiculous. That was just, wasn't expecting that. And made it easily accessible to get into, which was nice, especially at my age. Not flexible anymore. Picturing myself driving into a show with that body, just pop it up, drive into the show, people are just gonna freak.
Tom's like, I gotta get in there. I gotta drive this thing right now.
All right, man. Now I want you to know 2 things.
2 things.
This is a really mean machine. This is not your father's Volkswagen.
Basically, my instructions were go straight, go fast. If something's in my way, turn.
This is his first time sitting in the car, and he's excited. It's a very tangible experience. You're in this little shell with this roaring engine behind you, and it feels like a race car.
It's pretty crazy to drive. I thought it would be difficult to drive, not being able to see through the windshield or something, but you can see right through the plexiglass, no problem.
So we're on this big, long stretch of road, and Tom just keeps going. I thought he was just gonna, like, you know, do a couple turns, and okay, great. So he's gone.
And the car totally blows me away. Yeah, and seeing Ian work on stuff, the guy's just a machine. He gets a image something in his head, and he just works almost 24/7 until that thing's completed and done the way he realizes it should be.
You know, when he finally pulls back in, you know, he's all smiles. Cool, man, what do you think?
Oh, dude, it's perfect.
Yeah.
I'm gonna scare the crap out of myself in this, which is awesome.
Yeah.
It's no fun if you're not.
This thing has come full circle. You know, we started with this crusty old blue dune buggy months ago, and look what we got now. I mean, working with Johnny, it's like a sure thing at this point. I always know we're gonna come out with something really unique. But then Tom upped the game with this monster engine and his other help. It's really something. I mean, it's vying for position in my top favorite car. So, I mean, in finalizing this project, as difficult as it is, there's no way I'm ever gonna restore a car. You know, this is just, you know, I'm down the road to the next crazier project, and that's just what I wanna do. You know, the art-inspired show cars.